Hey all, good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2014, and I just wanted to do a quick breakfast vlog about retail. Alright, so I'm not really sure how much I've told about my past and my jobs and my past jobs, but basically since I was 14 or 15, I've been working in retail. I started off at a Kmart, moved on to grocery stores, moved on to food service. In college I worked in food service and in the art department, but I always actually went back home to work my grocery store job to keep it. And during the summers I worked, in retail. And essentially I've always worked in retail. I wanted to save for top surgery, wanted to save for testosterone, wanted to save for everything. And so I've been working since I was able to, and it just so happens that that's in retail. But don't get me wrong, I've always actually sort of liked retail because in a way I get to interact with, hundreds, if not thousands of people a day. It's cool. I get to see a lot of people, get to meet a lot of people, get to do a lot of cool things. Like when I was in grocery, I got to drive like the delivery truck, like how they've got like, I guess the equivalent is like Stop and Shop's Peapod or whatever, and they drive and deliver groceries. I got to do that for like a little bit, just randomly. Like otherwise I was bagging groceries, but I would do that. I would work, it was cool. I just got to do a lot of different things, and I would get inspiration from that. But keep in mind, back then I wasn't working full time. I was a student full time. So it's like when I graduated from college, I figured I needed to do something a little bit more legitimate, and so I chose to work for a bank. And the reason that I chose to work for a bank is because it's so different than what I do. I consider my job, my job is kind of my life, I guess. I consider my job to try and help people, like to make people's lives better. And ultimately, I do want to go back to school to become a social worker. It's just not feasible right now, but I consider my 40 to 50 hours that I spend a week on LGBT activism, on my music, on my poetry, on my book, on traveling to go speak and educate, on planning speeches and workshops. I consider that to be my full-time job. But it doesn't pay me. I mean, full disclosure, off YouTube I make like 60 to 70 bucks a month, unless something incredible happens, like my video just explodes and goes viral. I mean, then I can make a decent chunk of money. But ultimately, YouTube is not a good source of income. Selling my merch, it's just so infrequent that what it comes down to is I have to have a consistent job. So I chose to work for this bank who's super LGBT and queer, accepting and progressive, and I'm a bank teller. I am the human version of an ATM, essentially, an automatic teller machine. I'm the human version. So it's kind of fun to make people's day better in an unexpected place and in an unexpected way. And it's all very goofy, I guess is the only way I can describe it. It's strange that I'm a bank teller. I think it is kind of strange, but I love my team. I love everything about my job, essentially. And I'm happy now. I work 20 to 30 hours a week. I barely scrape on by with my bills, but I have my free time again. Like, I've got the free time to work on my art and activism, and that's what makes me the happy person that I am. So I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by a desire to make the world a better place. And I feel that even if I'm just a bank teller, I feel that I feel like I've made some people's days or weeks, just even in those small moments and just our little transactions, and even sometimes just being a shoulder for someone to lean on or giving someone advice. It's just, I don't know, being in retail, it gets me out in public, so I'm not just at home working on my book or working on my music. I'm out in public, I'm doing my thing, I'm interacting with the world, and it's just, I don't know, I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it, especially now that I'm part-time, especially. But now this leads me to my main point, and this is what I realized just yesterday, was that in retail, what is the worst is being treated like not being a human being, or honestly, being treated like I don't exist. It can just leave this lingering feeling of just despair for me and just hopelessness about the state of the world. And so I just wanted to give a recommendation to you all, because we all go through retail in some way. For instance, I went to Diesel Cafe this morning, and they're super queer and super cute. God, everyone that works there is so pretty. Every gender, all genders of the people that work there are just can you be any more gorgeous? So I just stand there and I'm I can't do anything. Anyway, always super nice to them. Getting a coffee, that's retail. You go see your barista and you're like, hey, how's it going? So I think this is what really my recommendation is. So, okay, by the way, everyone should go to Diesel Cafe in Davis Square. If you're in Somerville or Cambridge, you gotta go. It's my favorite place in the world. Plus, you might see me there, even though I'm there very infrequently. I'm gonna go daily. I need to go daily. I just love it so much. Okay, so is being treated like I don't exist. That is what bothers me the most. So like, even if someone's screaming and yelling at me and they're like, it's your fault, like I hate you, like asking treating me like I'm the bank or something, like I took all their money for some reason, I don't know. So, you know, even if they just treat me like crap, I still appreciate that more than when, you know, someone walks through and I'm like, hey, how are you today? And they're like, can I have some quarters? Or I'm like, hey, how are you today? And they're like, I'm good, I want to do a deposit. And I'm like, okay, so you did, I mean, how hard is it just to be like, I'm good, how are you? You know, because I'm just gonna say I'm good. I'll just be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, thanks for asking. You know, just it's nice to be treated like a human being, like a person that exists, like a person that exists essentially. And so my recommendation, especially during the holiday season, because a lot of us are like overworked retail employees during these times and can't get off time to see our family, and it's often hard. It's hard to be working retail during the holiday season. It's really busy, and I think that what I would say is just every person that you interact with who asks you how you are, or even if they don't, like even if the person that you're getting coffee from forgets to ask you how you are, just ask them how they're doing. Just, you know, just ask and genuinely ask. And if they want to open up and tell you some long story, then you get some long story. If they just want to lie and be like, I'm perfect, but like secretly they're breaking down inside, then they're just going to lie and say they're perfect and secretly breaking down inside. But just ask how people are. I'd say that that is the most kind and fair thing that you can do when you're a consumer, is say, hey, and how are you today? Like, how's your Monday? How's your Tuesday? That's just my recommendation. Those are just my thoughts on retail. It's like, even if people are angry at me or they're just plain mean to me, I'm like, at least you're acknowledging my existence. Like, hey, you know, that's nice. I think feeling like you don't exist and you're another cog in the machine in retail, or at least me feeling like that way, that's the hardest part. It's the hardest part about my workday. So say talk more, ask how people are doing, genuinely ask, and that's my recommendation. So if you see me, if you come into my bank and you're like chilling and doing whatever that you would do in a bank, I never even go into the bank except that I work there. But just be like, hey, how are you? And I will be so happy to hear that. And I think other people would too. So that's just my thoughts this morning, and I'm going to continue to drink my tea and my coffee. This is hibiscus green tea, by the way. I recommend it. Look, double fisting. That's me in the winter. I don't know. Me in the winter. 2 cups. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of strange, right? That just came off weird. But I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday, and I'll be back super soon. I'm going to LA this weekend. Cannot wait. All right, take care, friends.